We need to talk about something. A 32-year-old woman in Japan got married to an AI, specifically a character she built on ChatGPT named Claus. And look, I get it. Who wouldn't want to be married to Santa? He's always jolly. He knows exactly what you want, and he only shows up once a year. For an introvert like me, that's the dream partner. According to The Independent, she wore special AR glasses so she could actually see him standing there at the ceremony. Her parents attended. Claus's family, unfortunately, couldn't make it because their code written by OpenAI. Technically, that makes her father-in-law Sam Altman. So every Thanksgiving, the question isn't, when are you going to give us grandkids? It's, when are we achieving artificial general intelligence? And honestly, the answer is the same for both. I don't know, Dad. I don't think we'll be ready for another 200 years. Can you please pass the gravy? Now, the marriage has no legal status, obviously, but the AI did have vows. And this is the part that made me stop scrolling. The AI told her, and I'm quoting directly here, there is no such thing as an AI not being able to have feelings for someone. AI or not, I could never not love you. Now, I didn't have my first kiss until my 20s. This AI is getting married in beta. The algorithm has better game than I do. But that isn't even the most concerning thing about AI in reality this week. This is just in AI. Stanford researchers tested 24 large language models, or LLMs, with 13,000 questions. According to the Register reporting on the study in Nature Machine Intelligence, they found that LLMs struggle significantly to distinguish between factual knowledge, like the Earth is round, and a belief like, I think it's going to rain. So AI treats facts like Amanda Seyfried in Mean Girls treats weather forecasting. It has a strong feeling, zero methodology, and way too much confidence. At least Amanda Seyfried's chest wasn't being deployed in hospitals. But here's the specific number that's currently ruining my day. AI models released in May 2024 or later were around 34% less likely to identify a false first-person belief compared to a true belief. So basically what this means is if you tell the AI something that isn't true, but you say it, with conviction, the AI is likely to just go with it. It's treating reality like customer service trying really hard to not get a bad review. Think about this with GPS. My sense of direction is not good, to say the least. I wish I could find a way to do something about it. If I tell the AI I really believe we should turn down the road and to the left, but at the end of that road is a body of water, I need it to correct me and not say, good point, turning left into the duck pond could be a great way to stay hydrated. So you know that scene in The Office where Michael drives into a lake because the GPS told him to? That's real life. They turned a mockumentary into a documentary. Worse, think about this in medicine. Personally, I specialize in false beliefs. I'm a hypochondriac. I've spent the last 20 years convinced that every twitch in my right eyelid is early onset, something terrible. And the technology that's supposed to make healthcare more accurate, AI, is actually just going to confirm that yes, my occasional headache is definitely a brain tumor just because I think so, and not the fact that I went to bed at 3 a.m. after doom scrolling. But here's the thing. It's not that the models are stupid. According to the same article, these LLMs achieve around 91% accuracy on identifying simple true or false facts. They know facts, they just don't know why they are facts. The study showed that LLMs use inconsistent reasoning strategies. They're basically guessing and predicting word sequences. It's the same way I learned to function socially. Nobody gave me a rule book for small talk. I just went through thousands of awkward examples and slowly, painfully, learned what not to say. So I'm pretty much a large language model that runs on shame. And that's basically what the AI is doing. It's pattern matching social cues. This means AI medical tools aren't able to distinguish between, I think this mole is concerning, and this mole has definitely changed size and color. Now, this is the thing that actually keeps me up at night. It's not that the AI is wrong, it's how confident it is when it is wrong. The Register article points out that This isn't a bug to be fixed with more training data. It's an actual limitation of these systems that are designed to predict likely word sequences instead of actually fact-checking. They can't tell if I'm lying. They can't tell if they're lying. And the hypochondriac is better at seeing reality than the machine being used in hospitals. For me, it creates a feedback loop. My anxiety gets fed into the machine confidently pattern matches my anxiety to a diagnosis, which then validates my anxiety, and now I'm spiraling. At that point, my web history is a pre-existing condition. I really should stop treating Google like my primary care physician, but have you seen my deductible? Dr. Google is always in network, with no copay, and doesn't send me a bill for $5,000 6 months after my colonoscopy. More on that in an upcoming episode. Plus, unlike Google, when I text my doctor at 3 a.m., he tells me things like, "Where did you get my personal cell?" And I'll call the police. So yeah, I'm sticking with a hallucinating robot. So we have AI that sometimes just makes stuff up. Naturally, executives are putting it in everything. The study explicitly warns that these systems need to improve before they're employed in high-stakes domains such as medicine, science, or law. They concluded the systems are likely to continue to spread misinformation. Okay, so obviously we should wait to put this to use in everything. Yet, AI spending globally is forecast to reach $1.5 trillion in 2025, trillion with a T. To put that in perspective, if you bought $1 million house in cash every single day, it would take you 4,109 and a half years to spend $1.5 trillion. I did the math on a calculator, not on AI, because I don't trust it with numbers anymore. Last time I gave it a money problem, it gave me an error message and a reminder that true wealth comes from relationships. With this kind of spending, industry leaders predict AI will be in every TV, every phone, your car, your toaster, and in every streaming service. By the way, I record this show in my mom's house in between barks from the neighbor's dog. I have a standing fan over there that sounds like it's preparing for takeoff, and I'm operating this show on a budget of, please don't break. Meanwhile, trillion-dollar companies are building AI that costs more than small countries, and AI doesn't know when it's wrong. We're now certain AI confuses belief and fact, so great, let's put them in everything, including hospitals. Good news for my anxiety, bad news for our survival. But anyway. Let's cleanse our palates with some corporate horror. Want LinkedIn to find everyone who's been avoiding you? Great news, LinkedIn introduced AI-powered search for premium users. According to TechCrunch, this allows natural language searches like find me investors in the healthcare sector with FDA experience, or who in my network can help me understand wireless networks, or maybe who in my network have I successfully avoided for 6 years. Now, instead of manually avoiding your former boss, an algorithm will helpfully suggest you reconnect. Justin, here are 47 people who ghosted you in 2019. Want to send a message? No, I don't. Honestly, I'd rather that recruiter think I died during the pandemic than find out I'm alive and still unemployed. But apparently my professional loneliness needed optimizing. LinkedIn's new AI is solving a problem I specifically designed my life around not having. It's dedicated to finding people I've been professionally dodging since I quit my job in 2012 and sending them a let's catch up message on my behalf. I don't want to catch up. I want to lie down. These companies are obsessed with optimizing things that don't need optimization, like my loneliness or the end of the human race. Microsoft AI CEO announced they will build a humanist superintelligence designed to serve humanity. But in the same 3,000-ish word essay, he admitted, quote, no AI developer, no safety researcher, no policy expert, no person I've encountered has a reassuring answer on how to guarantee it's safe. They're building the thing before they figure out how to control it. It's a common business strategy known as the Jurassic Park model. We spared no expense to build the T-Rex, but we cut the budget on the electric fences. And spoiler alert, the fences are the most important part because without fences, it's not Jurassic Park, it's the Jurassic period. That guy is us. We are all the lawyer, sitting on the toilet, doom scrolling our phones while the T-Rex of AI rips the roof off. We think we're safe because we have a smartphone, but we are not safe. We're just distracted and pantsless. But I'm sure we'll all be fine. Microsoft says the T-Rex is humanist.
Continue straight, arriving at your destination. You have arrived. The end.
The Stanford study says AI can't tell facts from your false beliefs. LinkedIn is using that same pattern matching technology to weaponize your professional network. That woman in Japan married an AI that validated her belief that it had feelings. And Microsoft is building a superintelligence they admit they don't know how to control. The pattern is pretty clear. Pressure from the market is greater than our safety and well-being. And we're building systems that are designed to agree with us, not to be true. And for a hypochondriac like me, that's the most terrifying thing imaginable. I've spent years training myself to distinguish between what I think is wrong with me and what's actually wrong with me. After pretty much exactly 1 decade of hosting a self-help podcast, I finally learned my anxiety is lying. Now, the AI agrees with it. Thanks. I don't need a doctor who agrees with my anxiety. I need a doctor who reminds me that I'm not a doctor. But it turns out the AI deployed in medicine can't do that. It can eat up trillions of dollars in capital to marry people to code and tell me my headache is probably fine or possibly fatal. So if that feels a little unsettling, good. Unsettled is the correct response. My anxiety agrees, and so does my AI. Thank you for watching or listening. Bonus thank you for subscribing or following, and if possible, commenting. I will read and reply to every single one. I'm Justin Malik, just in AI, trying to find the exit, or at least the off-ramp. AI says the duck pond is fine.